Welcome to the Good Morning from the Chicken Coop podcast with Kim Johnson, your creative strategist and master mindset coach. Filled with inspiration, distinctions, perspectives, and possibilities, we help you to cultivate a mindset that leads you to create the best version of yourself you could ever imagine. Join Kim every morning from one of her favorite happy places, her chicken coop, along with all her chickens.
Hey everybody, good morning. Right, so today we are talking about competition. And boy, this subject is very fascinating and interesting because it's all a matter, again, you're going to hear me say this many times. If you're a listener regularly, you know I always talk about perspective, and it's the power of perspective, and everything is your jumping off point and how you see it. But competition is one of those tricky things that people believe is everywhere. And I personally don't see competition everywhere. I used to be in that mindset. I was definitely raised in that. I grew up in Massachusetts, and it's very competitive, and business-wise, it's competitive, and people are constantly looking at how to get a jump on the competition, and it's aggressive. And I just, over my time of coaching and studying and learning all different levels of awareness, so to speak, I no longer think of competition like that because it doesn't help me. I can never, ever, ever, no matter what I do, I can never understand. Even if someone sits and explains their path to you, you're never going to understand the dynamic that made that person up behind the scenes. They can tell you situations, but they're not able to explain to you their thought process on it, how they felt at the time. There will be millions of little nuances that are left out. And that is what makes them be who they are, right? That's the essence of who they are. And when you look at the big picture on competition overall, you only compete with yourself. So me comparing myself to another coach, let's say there's another coach out there that's very successful, and I look at that coach and I say, wow, I suck, I'm so far behind, or I can't believe I've been doing this just as long as she has, but she's so much further along, and this means X, Y, Z. I'm coming to conclusions that I have no right to come to because, one, I don't know all the nuances, those millions of nuances that brought that person to where they are, and two, the strategy of choosing to, beat yourself up until you do better never works. My husband always reminds me that you can't use the philosophy, the beatings will continue until morale improves, to get anything out of anybody, and I love that little phrase. And but we do that to ourselves, and I have been just as guilty of that in the past, where I will beat myself up hoping that I'm going to get somewhere with it, but it never works. It's a false strategy, and it just simply never ever works. So we have to remember that we're in a place where we have the opportunity to not compete externally with other people, but we have the opportunity to compete with ourselves. Am I better than I was the day before? Am I better in this moment than I was? Did I handle a situation better this time than I did in the past? And those small moments always add up and make you a better person and a better leader, a better parent overall. As you go through and you add them up and you let them stack up, you are competing with nobody but yourself. And the more you allow yourself to see that and have those micro wins every day, did I handle this better? Was my conversation more thoughtful? Was I more aware? The more you will see yourself cultivate into the person that you choose to be, as opposed to the person that you have been or that you are. So that, when you look at, I don't care if your business is, if you're a chiropractor, if you're an investment banker, if you're a real estate agent, it doesn't matter what your role out there in the world is. The perception of competition lies within you. Because if you're doing the best version of you that you can do, and every day you're cultivating to get better and you're becoming more and more aware, your ideal clients will come to you. They will find you because you will be a shining star among it. When you start to look at other people and you say, wow, I wish, right away you're diminishing who you are. And that never works. There, Raven thinks that as well. That never works, right? You can't beat yourself up. Now, you can use, when you look at somebody else, you can say, wow, I like that. I want to move in that direction, or that's something I want. But you don't compare yourself to them. And you don't say, well, she was here by that time, therefore I should be there by that time. We all know, we all learn at different rates, we all progress at different rates. So you have to have grace with yourself on this. And the best way to do this is those small incremental things that add up at competing with yourself. You walked 1,000 steps today? Great. Tomorrow you're going to walk 1,002. Do it that way. Do those small incremental little tiny competitions with yourself so that you can see that you're growing, you're transitioning, and I promise you, you will be a heck of a lot happier and you will attract the things that you want because they add up and it's all energy. So look for those places where you can compete with yourself and nobody else. Have grace with yourself, give yourself a break, and I will see you tomorrow.